Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. I am Adam, still out in Germany today. As you know, I was here for the Mercedes-Benz Junior Cup 2020, where United's under 18s are in action. And we'll be checking out day 2 tomorrow to see who eventually wins the tournament. But tonight, I have been watching Wolves 0, Manchester United 0. And oh my God, what a boring game. Boring. Man United, I've titled this video. But I gotta say, both clubs, both teams weren't really at it today. I expected more from Wolves. I expected more from Manchester United. And neither of them performed. Neither of them performed. In fact, the only player today for me who performed for Manchester United was Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams got my man of the match. There was a lot of talk about Adama coming into this game and the fear that we had of what he would do to Luke Shaw. Well, Luke Shaw didn't start. Brandon Williams did. We're undefeated with Brandon Williams at left back, which is interesting. Now, I know, he's not the only player that's played in those games, and left back isn't one of those positions where you can say every game is played, we've won. But those are the facts. Every game Brandon Williams has played has ended in a win or a draw. And today Manchester United drew 0-0 with Wolverhampton Wanderers, which means the game goes to an FA Cup third round replay at Old Trafford. And there was an interesting stat, which I'm going to bring up now, that was tweeted by Andy Mitten, I believe. Let me just find that now. So make sure you check him out on Twitter at Andy Mitten, is the United We Stand editor. And this is what he tweeted, which was interesting. MUFC played 9 games in December. They'll play 9 in January 2 if they beat Wolves in the replay. So at the moment, 8 games in January. If we beat Wolves in the replay, it'll be 9 before playing Wolves again in the league on February the 1st. 6 games against Wolves in 10 months. No wins so far. How depressing is that? How depressing is that? 6 games against Wolves in 10 months. And yet no wins for Manchester United. That really is a depressing stat, especially when you consider this is a team that have been recently promoted into the Premier League. Nevertheless, it's a little bit different because we know what their situation is in terms of them being able to buy players, their owners. This is really a big project going on there. But we're Manchester United, for God's sake. We shouldn't be getting outplayed by Wolverhampton Wanderers. We shouldn't be unable to beat Wolverhampton Wanderers in 6 games. That, quite frankly, is embarrassing. We should win. We should beat any team that we play 6 times, and we haven't. And today I thought the football was really bad. Obviously, Oli made a lot of changes. We brought in Romero in the net, got another clean sheet for him. We had at left back Brandon Williams. As I said, he was my man of the match. Lindelof and Maguire at the heart of the defence. Now, Lindelof got man of the match. How? He caused more problems for Harry Maguire than he solved, which was really annoying. Harry Maguire, throughout most of the game, seemed injured. But secondly, why is it we rely on Harry Maguire to be the man that comes out with the ball and tries to find space? None of our midfielders could do it. Matic, Pereira, Mata, awful today. You look further behind, we were relying on Maguire to come out with the ball and pass the ball to one of our front 3, front 4. Imagine that. Why are we relying on this guy to play the ball through the lines? We should be relying on our midfield to do that. And they had a dreadful game today. I didn't think Matic was great. Andreas Pereira wasn't great. He wasn't even good. None of them were good. And then, who else? Mata. To be fair, he went pretty close to a goal for us. Probably the nearest we went to a goal besides Marcus Rashford hitting the bar when he come in the second half. We did whip one just wide, but apart from that, Mata did nothing. Mason Greenwood didn't have a great game. Daniel James, poor. Tahiv Chong, poor. Today it was awful for Manchester United. Now, what I don't get, and I'll say this now, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it forever. Not forever, because things can change. But I can't get comments like Arvinder's, which says, Ollie's got to go. What did you expect going to Wolves today? What did you expect with that team? What did you expect with this team this season? What did you expect? Because I don't know. What would have been different if we had Poch in charge? If we sack Ollie and get Poch, after 3 months, are you going to say, fuck this, it's fucking shit? Because no matter who comes in, and look, I don't think Ollie's the right man for the job in the long term. You all know my opinion on that. I want him to prove me wrong. I really do want him to prove me wrong. But if you get Poch in, what are you going to be doing the same thing after 2 games, 3 games, after 6 months, 8 months? Oh, this is shit. Fuck Poch, get him out of here. Because no matter who comes in, they need to be given time. Because there's no quick fix to what's going on at Manchester United at the moment. Look at our squad. The average age of it. Look at it. The quality of it. Look at it. The money we've spent in the last couple of windows. Look at it. It's been fucking abysmal. Yes, we have spent a lot of money over the last 6-7 years since Sir Alex Ferguson left. And that investment has been awful. We'll say Woodward, but we'll also point at 3 different managers that it's been awful with as well. But you look at the last couple of windows, the summer. How much did we spend in the summer? About 70 million. We didn't spend really anything on Maguire because we sold Lukaku for around the same price. We didn't really spend anything on Daniel James because we sold a fair few other players. We sold Fellaini in the summer. We sold Matteo Darmian, etc. So we didn't spend much on Daniel James. And then we 100 million% only really spent money on Aaron Wan-Bissaka, which is £50 million. £50 million for a Manchester United side. £50 million for a team that's trying to challenge. £50 million is less than what Aston Villa spent, a newly promoted side. Imagine that. And that was after a window where, you know, we obviously had nothing in January. And the window before that, who did we sign? Lee Grant, Dalot and Fred. Another 60 million spent. So the lack of investment in the last couple of years has been fucking awful. And never mind that. It's not just the lack of investment. It's the ineptness. It's the lack of urgency in the window. It's the lack of football nous at Manchester United above the football team. Now this has been a problem for a very long time. And even if Poch comes in, he's going to have the same issues. No matter who comes in, they're going to have those issues. So they need to be given time. They need to be given a chance to rebuild. Now, if you're saying Ollie isn't the man, you might be right. But please, after every game where we don't win, why are you, like, what is the, fucking Ollie out, After, what are you expecting this season? I don't know. That is why when I say, let's see what happens by the end of the season, if there's been an upturn, if there's been improvement, if there's been, because you gain nothing. I don't want Poch coming in now. Do you want Poch coming in right now? Oh, if he comes in, I want him to come in at the end of the season. In fact, that would be the ideal scenario for me. Ollie to the end, Poch comes in. Now, the dream scenario would be Ollie proves me wrong. But sacking him right now doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. Who are you going to have running the team after that? Ed Woodward. Who? Now read Jamie's comment here. It says Wolves and United play very similar. We both sit back and counter. That's why it was an even first half. The difference was Nuno made changes in the second half, had Wolves pressing high and going at us. United want to show they don't panic buy. That's fine. I'm not asking them to panic buy, Haytham. I'm not asking Manchester United to panic buy. I'm asking them to do their fucking research. That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. There was a comment that I wanted to read. Red92 says it's poison at the top the last 5 years up until this point. Whoever comes in has to do a rebuild. We need at least 5 signings for the first team at least. Agree, David. Unbelievable how much you guys have to bend to defend such pathetic performances and managers. Listen to what the fuck I'm saying, please. I've not defended anybody. I've come out and said today was boring, today was poor, today wasn't good enough. But listen to the nuance in what I'm saying. I ain't them Arsenal fans. You're not going to catch me crying on camera every week screaming, Ollie out, Ollie out, ah! You're not going to catch me doing that. But I will give you my honest opinion. At the start of the season, I didn't think Ollie was the right man in the long term. I didn't think he'd be here now. Never mind, at the end of the season. He's proved me wrong. He's made it now. But there's no quick fix for Manchester United, and that's what people need to get in their skulls. Whoever comes in, even if, as expected, Ollie isn't successful in the long term, whoever comes in needs time. Whoever comes in needs to be able to one, coach a new style of football, 2, develop their players, 3, sign their players, and 4, bring through new players from the academy or whatever. Do you remember Poch's first season at Tottenham? You could tell something was happening, but the results weren't there. That's why I say I don't want him to come in right now. Because you get him in right now, and then what? Then use like that are crying for him. Use like that are, fucking get Poch now. Use like when we draw a game or lose a game, we'll be saying, get him out. Will you not? You're going to say no now, but you would have said this. You'll be saying it, guaranteed. And I just hate the overreaction to a draw, overreaction to a defeat, or overreaction to a win, no matter what the scenario. You've got to be able to have some balance in how you view things. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was given the job based off the fact that he had a great run at the start. It was a knee-jerk decision. Knee-jerk decision. Yeah. And I agree with that. The club shouldn't have appointed Ollie. No other club would have. But you also have to look at the fact that Ollie, he's done some bad things. He's had some mistakes. He's had some poor results. He's had some, you know, those things have happened. But also he's done some good things. Also he's done some very good things. And that's why the people that can't see both drive me nuts. Like, I'm never going to be Ollie in, purely Ollie in, because people that are Ollie in can't see the wrong he does. And I'm never going to be Ollie out. Oh, fuck Ollie, I'm Ollie out. Because whoever's Ollie out, they can't ever see the right that he does. And that's a problem. That is a problem. If you can't see the right someone's doing, and you only ever see the wrong, or you only ever see the wrong and you don't see the right, it's fucking mental. So, you know, have some balance. Have some respect. Also, let's be real as well. You can't do that without being abusive. You can disagree with people without being abusive. And that is how I conduct myself. Adam, the bad things outweigh the good things, says Time Bandit. David, thank you for the comment. Pam says we lose. Ollie Smart. Stop reading into things like that, man. Ollie's. I seen a picture of Klopp losing 2-1 against Palace smiling the other day. You think he's not hurting inside? You think he's not hurting inside? This reminds me of a time, yeah, when I was outside Old Trafford, yeah. United had lost. And someone came up to me and gave me a hug and said something. I can't remember what they said, but I laughed at it. I laughed at it. And someone else had the cheek to say, why are you laughing? We've just lost. Like, huh? What are you talking about, mate? It doesn't mean I'm happy with the defeat. It doesn't mean I'm happy with the result. It just means I found something, or, you know, I can smile. Like, come on, man. Will Burns says the good outweighs the bad. And this is why I think, and this is why all along I've said, I wouldn't mind if Poch came in at the end of the season. If Ollie is proving that he's not the man. The reason I say that is because Ollie would have done a lot of the groundwork for him. Ollie would have done a lot of the giving people their debuts, you know, getting rid of a lot of players, giving people chances, etc., etc. And sorry, I'm getting distracted by comments. I think Grealish got injured. That's not him not coming. Grealish wouldn't come in January anyway. Villa are in a relegation battle. They're not going to sell their best player in January. Try starting your day with a smile, says Guru. Why is Ollie's problem with Gomez, says CTS Lozo. I don't think Ollie's got a problem with Angel Gomez. I just think it may be the case that Angel Gomez is going to leave Manchester United. If that's the case, why play him in the first team? Why play a player in the first team that isn't going to be here for the foreseeable future? Especially a player like that. That's what I genuinely feel he's gone. United will keep getting worse year by year until we get new ownership, says Tahir. People really think Poch would just magically fix this squad. That's jokes, says Jane. We have management who care only about profits. It's bang on. If Rashford went to Leicester on loans, Rodgers would have him playing like a beast. Ollie is the problem. He has no coaching style. You haven't seen an improvement in Rashford this season. See, that is what I'm on about. Balance. You can only see the bad. You can't see the good. If you're telling me he hasn't improved Rashford this season, then look at his goal scoring record. Look at the way he's playing. Look at the confidence he's giving him. Look at the difference between a very good, what was a world-class manager in Jose managing Rashford and Ollie managing Rashford. I'd rather Ollie be managing him because Jose didn't do well with him. In fact, Jose made Martial and Rashford stagnate for a year or two. Play two up front, says Cypher. Martial was out injured today. He wants to give Rashford a rest. You have to play Greenwood on his own. That was the only option. My mum fell asleep during the game, says Kane. I think everyone fell asleep during that game. It was a pretty bad game, wasn't it? The reason we didn't play two up top was pretty obvious for me. Martial out ill. Rashford given a rest. Rashford player of the season so far, says Will. I agree with that. We know the deadwood in this team this season. That's what Ollie has shown us. Improve the first team in the summer and we can have a better league run, says Aditya. All I want to see is a style of play from Ollie. I don't want to see Ollie out, says Ronnie. I think that's a fair point that people are making. The frustrating thing is sometimes we are told that we're going to get a style. We're told we're going to get a level of commitment and passion and all that kind of stuff that people just love to fucking see for no reason. We were told we were going to have these kind of things, and there's games where I watch and I think, this reminds me of Jose football or Van Gaal football. Pass, 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 side, 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 side. It's awful. And I think that is down to central midfield and number 10. Our number 10s are Andreas Pereira Mata and Jesse Lingard. Not good enough for a team that want to win the league. And our midfield, Fred, Matic, McTominay, Andreas Pereira sometimes. Paul Pogba's been out. McTominay is now out. We're fucked in midfield. And that is a big problem for me. I don't think any manager would be able to solve the issue in central midfield with what we have. Because what we have isn't good enough. Matic isn't good enough anymore. Pereira, God loves a trier, but not good enough. Fred, third, fourth choice at best. McTominay, third, fourth choice at best. We've got one first choice central midfielder and he's played 5 times for us this season. Those are problems, and those are problems that aren't of Ollie's doing. I'm sure he would have loved the central midfielder in the summer. I'm sure he would have loved another striker. We didn't get them. Now he's going to come out and say, I'm happy with my squad, because he has to keep the players that he has on side. You think deep down he's happy with this squad, really? And that's what annoys me as well. That's what annoys me as well, that people think, oh, he's happy with the squad. Stop reading into everything he says. We got fed up when Jose was just ripping into everyone and they were playing awful. At least Ollie's trying to keep their confidence there, even if deep down he doesn't mean it. Look, I don't know whether Ollie's the answer. I really don't know. I don't think he is deep down. I want him to be. Imagine that. Seeing your club legend win trophies for your club. But ultimately, you live and die by results. Today wasn't a bad result. Today wasn't a bad result. That's important to remember. It's also important to remember, kept the cliche. I'm joking. Today wasn't a bad result at all, but it was the performance that was a problem. But then you look at the team and you think, David De Gea in goal. Sorry, not David. Romero in goal. Lindelof, Maguire, Williams, who should have had a penalty, to be fair. That was a stonewall penalty. What the fuck is the point in VAR? What is the point in VAR if you're not going to give decisions like that? It was a stonewall penalty. And I just think, when you're looking around. There's not enough creativity in that team. Mata was going up top at times, Greenwood out wide. It was just all over the place, to be honest with you. It wasn't great today for Man United at all. We got Man City coming up next as well. And we're all going to go into this game against Man City worried, scared, thinking we might lose. And that's usually when United tend to turn it around and do well and get a result, as we've seen throughout this season. So, yeah, it's a big game coming up on Tuesday against City. Adam, bro, I've watched you for 5 years. He's not good enough. Get rid of Ollie so we can focus on Ed out. I can't get rid of anyone, bro. Romero is the dog's bollocks. Another clean sheet for him. Mercenaries out. Youth coming through. He's trying to breed positivity. We know more creativity and more character, says Matt Lewis. Bang on. A lot of people who back Ollie from experience are older people who've seen Ollie win the Champions League for United. If you think he's a legend just because he won the Champions League, or you think people are being patient just because he won the Champions League, I think that's wrong. I think it's because everyone knows we need a cultural reset. Everyone knows we need a cultural reset. Don says he didn't watch the game today, so what's your quick summary of our play? I'll do it in one word, or one letter. It was a shit day. It was a shit performance. I say it was a shit performance. Probably wasn't. We drew 0-0 with Wolves, but it wasn't good enough today. It wasn't good enough today. It wasn't shit. It was average. And average isn't good enough for Man United. Didn't create enough opportunities. The stats say we didn't have a shot on target, despite Rashford hitting the post. But that was the nearest we went. That and a one-matter free kick. Brandon Williams possibly could have had a penalty. He was my man of the match. But overall, not a chance of many. Not a game of many chances at all. So, yeah, worrying. Why is he not playing Gomez? As I said before, I think Gomez is off. Jack Skipper says play the youth because don't invest in proper players. It shouldn't. We need youth and we need experience. We need both. Woodward out, says Circus Midget, please. And the Glazers out while you're at it. That would be great. Thoughts on Delo's future? Hopefully he develops more. Hopefully, you know, he's been given a chance, don't have any injuries. I like what I see from him, but we haven't seen enough, and we haven't seen him consistently enough. But again, he's one of those younger players that you hope can do well at the club and develop into a better player. Maguire was immense today, says Mir Afzal. The only problem was he seemed to pick up a knock. Hopefully he can shake that off and be fit for the City game. Despite his bad form recently, he's still by far our best centre-half. Anyway, guys, it has been boring Manchester United, as Manchester United drew 0-0 with Wolverhampton Wanderers and go to an FA Cup third round replay. Thank you for tuning in on AdamMcKola TV. I appreciate every single one of you for locking in. Make sure you're keeping it locked as well. Subscribe, like, comment and share. I've got content coming up this weekend on Full-Time Devils from the Mercedes-Benz Junior Cup 2020 out here in Stuttgart, Germany. But of course, fan cams are coming your way on Full-Time Devils as soon as David is out there getting them for me. So make sure you keep it locked to Full-Time Devils for the fan cams.